I used to think I understood people. Working behind a bar for 12 years teaches you everything. How to read faces, spot lies, handle drunks, identify creeps before they even order their first drink. But Jose Flores, I never saw him coming, and that's what makes him so terrifying. He was the kind of person who disappears into the background, invisible, forgettable, the last person you'd suspect of anything, except maybe being too nice. Turns out, that's exactly what made him the perfect predator. Because while I was protecting him from everyone else, no one was protecting everyone else from him. If you work in the service industry, if you know someone who's just too quiet, you need to hear this story, because the monster might be standing right next to you. Jose worked at the Holotap with me, full-time, 6 days a week. The kind of guy who never called in sick, never complained, never asked for raises or time off. Customers barely noticed him. He'd take their orders, serve their drinks, clean their messes, and they'd look right through him like he was furniture. Levi, our boss, was the worst. Used Jose like a punching bag, screamed at him over spilled drinks, called him useless, slow, pathetic, especially in front of customers. And Jose, he'd just nod, take it. Like he believed he deserved every insult, every shove, every humiliation. I was the only one who stood up for him. When tourists mocked his accent, I shut them down. When Levi got physical, I called him out. I thought I was being a good person, a good friend. What I didn't realize was that I was the only thing standing between Jose and the monster he'd been hiding his entire life. The night everything changed was a typical Friday. Packed house, drunk customers, everyone stressed and running on fumes. Jose was carrying a tray of drinks when some jerk bumped into him. Beer went everywhere, all over this guy's expensive leather jacket. The customer started screaming. Levi came running over, saw the mess, and absolutely lost it. Shoved Jose hard enough that he hit the bar. "You useless piece of crap! Can't you do anything right? Maybe I should hire someone who can carry a damn tray." Jose just stood there. Didn't apologize. Didn't defend himself. Didn't show any emotion at all. Then he smiled. Not nervous or embarrassed. Cold. Empty. Like something had cracked inside him, and all the humanity leaked out. That's when the disappearances started. First, it was Marcus Rivera, a regular customer who came in every Tuesday for beer and wings. Just stopped showing up. Then Rebecca from the day shift disappeared. Then 2 more regulars within a week. At first, we thought it was a coincidence. It's a rough neighborhood. People run from debt, get arrested, overdose. But when the police started showing up regularly, asking questions about the bar, that's when I noticed something that made my skin crawl. While everyone else was panicking, worried, scared, Jose was calm, completely, unnaturally calm. clean glasses during police interviews, served drinks while detectives showed us photos, like the disappearances, meant absolutely nothing to him. One night after close, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to know. So I asked him directly, "Jose, how do you feel about all these disappearances?" He didn't answer immediately. Didn't even look up from the glass he was polishing. Just silence. After what felt like forever, he raised his head and looked directly at me and smiled. The same empty, dead smile from that Friday night. Then he went right back to polishing the glass like nothing happened. I still get chills thinking about it. It wasn't human. It was like looking into the eyes of something that had learned to imitate human behavior, but couldn't quite get it right. I had to know more. So I called my friend Esther. She does deep dive background checks for insurance companies. If anyone could dig up dirt on Jose, it was her. What she found made my blood run cold. Jose had worked at 10 different bars across 8 states. Always quit after a few months. Always right before or during missing person investigations. I started calling the bars. Most managers hung up immediately when I mentioned his name, but one guy in Colorado, his voice was shaking. "What? Where is he now?" That's the first thing he asked. When I told him I worked with Jose, he said, Get out. Leave now. It's not safe." Then he hung up. Just like that. Like even talking about Jose over the phone was dangerous. The next morning, I got to work early. The parking lot was empty, except for my car. Jose's beat-up Honda wasn't there. Neither was a Levi's truck. Inside, the bar was dead silent. Not even the ice machine was running. Like the whole place was holding its breath. That's when it hit me. I was the only one left. Everyone else who knew Jose, who worked with him, who might have suspected something, they were gone. I knew I had to go to his house. I had to see for myself what was happening. Every instinct told me to run, but I couldn't. Not without knowing the truth. When I got there, the front door was wide open, just hanging there like an invitation or a trap. I called out as I walked in. "Mrs. Flores? Mr. Flores?" Nothing. The house felt abandoned, but perfect. Too perfect. Like a museum display. On the kitchen counter was a prescription bottle with Jose's name. Antipsychotic medication. Hadn't been refilled in months. That's when I saw it through the back window. A greenhouse I hadn't noticed from the front. New looking. Freshly built. The closer I got, the worse it smelled. Sickly sweet. Rotten. Like flowers trying to cover up something dead. Inside were dozens of freshly planted flowers, herbs, and vegetables. Beautiful garden. But the soil? It reeked of decay. I found a rusty shovel and started digging in the nearest pot. Just a little. Just to see what was making that smell. That's when I hit something solid. Brushed away the soil and found a face. His mother's face. Her head was buried under the roots, eyes wide open, staring at nothing. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move, and then I felt it. Someone is watching me. I turned around slowly. There he was, Jose, standing in the doorway like he'd been waiting for me to find her. We can grow plants together now, Sherry. You always said I needed friends. I knew if I screamed, if I ran, if I showed any fear, I was dead. So I smiled, forced myself to look calm. Yes, Jose, we can. I stepped closer, like I was going to hug him. Then, I swung the shovel as hard as I could, cracked it right across his face. He went down hard. I ran for the door, slammed it behind me, and sprinted toward the house. But when I looked back, he was gone. Not on the ground where I left him. Not in the greenhouse. Gone. I ran through the house, heart pounding so hard I could barely see straight. Almost made it to the front door when... explosion of pain in my stomach. He'd stabbed me. Came out of nowhere like he'd been waiting. Or you can join them with the plants. They'll grow better with you feeding them. I was losing blood fast, getting weak. He started dragging me back toward the greenhouse, and I knew that was it. I was going to become fertilizer for his garden. That's when I heard Esther's voice. Hey, Josito! The gunshot echoed through the neighborhood. I got you, Sherry. You're safe now. I woke up in the hospital with tubes in my arm and Esther holding my hand. She told me the good news first. I was going to live. Then, the bad news. They found multiple bodies in the greenhouse. Customers from the bar, coworkers, his parents, all buried under his beautiful garden. But not Jose. Despite being shot, despite the blood trail, he was gone. Vanished like he always did when things got too hot. The police found insulin vials in his locker at work. He'd been injecting it into drinks. Makes people pass out hours later. Looks like a medical emergency. Then he'd follow them home and... one by one, patient, methodical. The perfect predator hiding behind the perfect victim facade. It's been 3 months since the attack. Esther thinks I should move, change my name, disappear. But I'm staying right here. Because someone has to watch. Someone has to monitor the job boards, the bartending forums, and Craigslist postings. Someone has to be ready. They'll surface again. They always do. Somewhere in America, there's a bar looking for a quiet, reliable employee. someone who won't cause trouble. And a manager is thinking they're getting a great deal. A worker who won't complain, won't demand raises, won't cause drama. If you work in restaurants, bars, anywhere with high turnover, pay attention to the quiet ones, the ones who seem too good to be true. Because the monster doesn't look like a monster. He looks like the perfect employee, the one you feel sorry for, the one you want to protect. And while you're protecting him from the world, no one's protecting the world from him.